This is valid Java code that compiles and runs without errors. Did you notice the local date after the new keyword? Let's learn. Hi, Marcio from Constructors. I have the code I showed you in a Java file and I wrapped it in a main method so we can run it. As you can see, it runs without errors. It is valid Java code. Turns out that in Java, constructors can be generic. In other words, constructors can declare their own type parameters. For example, here's a record that represents some payload. It could be some arbitrary data like some JSON to be sent over the wire. Let's say we want to send an order. We need a converter from order to string. And we can use a generic constructor in this case, declaring type T, to ensure that the type of the converter is the same type as the value. And if constructors can declare type parameters, there must be a way to specify the type arguments. One of the ways to do it is to specify them after the new keyword, like so. I have here a program using the Payload class I showed you earlier, and see how we're explicitly telling the compiler that this T-type here in this particular case is local date. Let's run it. It prints the payload with the current date, or the date I'm recording this video. But the compiler can infer the type arguments in this particular case. So we don't need to specify the type arguments if we don't want to. So let's remove them and let's run it. It worked exactly like before. Of course, we must have matching types. If we write string, for instance, then compilation fails. And if the constructor is not generic, the type arguments are simply ignored. It happens the same thing with type arguments to methods. We're back here to our first example. And let's run it. It works just like before. Cool, right? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. I hope you learned something interesting. And that's it. See you in the next video. Bye.